In this video, we will use the formula in solving the nth term of a geometric sequence. So I have your 6 problems and we have your formula here. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So take note, kapareho lang po ito ng inyong arithmetic sequence. A sub n is equal to your nth term of the sequence. A sub 1 is your first term of the sequence. R is our common ratio. And n is the number of terms. Let us start with problem number 1. If a geometric sequence has a sub 1 equals 27 and a sub 2 equals 108, what is a sub 4? Remember, your r is just the quotient of two consecutive terms. Divide natin si 108 by 27 and we get here 4. Now, let's rewrite the sequence 27, 108, then we don't know the third, we also don't know the fourth. Since apat lang to, hindi na natin gagamitin yung formula. Instead, we will just use our common ratio times 4. So 27 times 4 is 108. 108 times 4 is 432. And 432 times 4 is equal to 1,728. Kung hindi kaya to ng mano-mano, pwede po tayong gumamit ng calculator. Number 2. Find the sixth term of the geometric sequence 1/3, 1/9, 1/27, and so on. We are looking for the sixth term. Again, let's start by solving your r, which is equal to a sub 2 divided by a sub 1 equals 1/9 over 1/3. Sa pag-divide po, we do the outer, then the inner. Sa outer po, 1 times 3 equals 3. And yung inner natin, 1 times 9, which is 9. Simplify, by dividing both by 3, we get here our common ratio, 1/3. Now, for our formula, we now need a sub 1, which is 1/3. N is 6, and we are looking for a sub 6. Let's write our formula. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. And substitute, we have a sub 6 equals a sub 1 muna times r raised to n minus 1. So, substitute na po natin lahat. A sub 6 is equal to 1/3 times 1/3 raised to 6 minus 1. So, unahin po muna natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis, yung exponent. So, you have there 1/3 times 1/3 raised to 5. At kapag exponent po yan, remember, that is, yung 1/3 po, ito times natin sa sarili niya ng 5 beses. And that is 1 over 243. Now, we can multiply it with your 1/3 outside. Your a sub 6 now is 1 over 729. Now, let's go to number 3. What is the 100th term of the geometric sequence 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 7, 2 raised to 10, and so on? Again, our r, pili ka lang ng dalawang magkasunod. Now, let's try a sub 3 and a sub 2. That is 2 raised to 10 over 2 raised to 7. So, law of exponents, we just subtract their exponents. You have there 2 cubed. So, okay na po tayo sa 2 cube. Huwag nyo nang i-write. Then, other given, n equals 100. A sub 1 is equal to 2 raised to 4. And our unknown, a sub n, which is a sub 100. Using the formula, a sub 100 is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. A sub 1 is 2 raised to 4. R is 2 cube raised to the power of 100 minus 1. Yes po, magiging exponent of an exponent po ang ating problem. So, unahin po muna natin yung exponent of exponent. You have there 100 minus 1, which is 99. And kapag po meron tayong power of a power, we now multiply 3 and 99, we get 297. Let's multiply 2 raised to 4 and 2 raised to 297. To do that po, we simply add their exponents dahil parehong may base. So now, we have 2 raised to 301. Number 4. Patricia has 10 pins. The next week, it became 30. And the following week, it became 90. If it continues with the same pattern, how many pins will Patricia have on the 6th week? So we now have there a sub 6, which is unknown, n is equal to 6, and for the common ratio, 30 divided by 10 equals 3, and for our a sub 1, which is 10. Using the formula a sub n equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1, substitute ang given, we have there a sub 6 equals 10 times 3 raised to 6 minus 1. Solve po natin yung nasa loob ng ating parenthesis. You have there 10 times 3 raised to 5. Again po, pag exponent, we rewrite it as the product of itself. So we have there 10 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And again, 3 raised to 5 is equal to 243. So when we multiply it with 10, a sub 6 is equal to 2,430. Let's try number 5. A group of ants doubles every 2 hours. If there are 1,000 ants at the beginning, how many ants will be there after 10 hours? So gawa po muna tayo ng table to represent the hour and the number of ants. We now have there hour and ants. So we will start with 0 hour. So yung initial po natin dito, meron tayong 1,000 ants. And we know for sure na nagdo-double ang number ng ants every 2 hours. So on hour 2, meron tayong 2,000 na ants. Again, magdo-double uli siya after 2 hours. So on hour 4, we now have 4,000 ants. Doing the same thing, on hour 6, we now have 8,000 ants. Again, magdo-double uli. So on the 8th hour, ang number of ants po natin ay 16,000. And on the last 10 hours na po natin, we now have 32,000 ants. Ngayon, let's use a formula. Una po, count natin kung ilang terms. There are 6 terms. So, hindi po siya a sub 5, instead a sub 6. Sunod po, a sub 1 is 1,000. Our r, nagdo-double, so 2. And n, which is 6. Our formula, a sub 6 equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Substitute, a sub 6 equals 1,000 times 2 raised to 6 minus 1. And solving, again, yung nasa loob ng parenthesis, you have 1,000 times 2 raised to 5. That is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 32. And 32 times 1,000, we now have 32,000. Pareho po yung sa table natin at sa paggamit ng formula. Take note po uli na meron po kasi tayong a sub 0 or initial number of ants. Number 6. A new YouTuber got 200 views on the first day of the release of his video. During the next 4 days, the number of views increased by 30% per day. Assume that the increase in views continues. Find how many views will this video receive on the 6th day. Round your answer to the nearest whole number. So dito po, it is certain that we are looking on the 6th day. So we have here a sub 6 which is unknown. Next, our first day or a sub 1 which is equal to 200. N is equal to 6. And for our common ratio, it tells us that the number of views increased by 30%. So pag sinabi po nating increase, we are representing it as plus 30%. Saan tayo magpa-plus? So yung 100% natin before, magdadagdag ka ng 30%. So instead of using the percentage, we can now rewrite it in decimals. We now have 1.3. So since meron na tayo ng mga given, we can now use our formula a sub 6 equals a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. A sub 6 is equal to 200 times 1.3 raised to 6 minus 1. Again, unahin po muna natin yung exponent. You now have 200 times 1.3 raised to 5. Since decimal po ito at exponential, we can now use a calculator. Let's multiply 1.3 to itself. And then, multiply it with our first term, 200. So, ang sagot po natin ay 742.59. Pero wala naman pong views na butal. Instead, we round it off to the whole number. We now have 743 views.